Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
The WNBA thought it could handle Caitlin Clark's explosive rise, hoping they could rough her up night after night, assuming fans would just keep cheering like it was a middle school game. Well, plot twist. When Clark got slammed like it was Game 7 of the NHL Finals, things didn't go as planned.
It was just announced that Caitlin Clark will be out a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad injury. Could this injury have been prevented? Can the Indiana Fever win without her? And what does this mean for the WNBA?
Fans weren't just upset, they were boycotting. Like it was Black Friday and the refs took their coupons. The WNBA's plans crumbled. What happens when your MVP, your franchise player, and your ticket sales go on pause for 2 weeks?
Get in the back. We know Caitlin Clark was lost yesterday to an injury for at least 2 weeks. Now, the thing about it is they're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks. And of course, man, these teams, I told you earlier, these WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the, United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked.
This wasn't just about one player, this was about a whole league's identity getting torn apart. Let's break it down, because there's more to this story than what meets the eye. This injury? It could change everything.
Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent.
It's funny, really. Just when the WNBA seemed to be on the rise, ratings soaring, jerseys selling like hotcakes, every game treated like the Super Bowl. Bam, Caitlin Clark's quad strain hits, and suddenly, the ground is shaking beneath the league's feet.
Public meltdown.
Oh my God, guys, breaking news. Caitlin Clark is hurt. I didn't believe it when I saw it myself. She's injured. She has a quad injury, a left quad injury. It's a quadriceps strain. And the team announced today, about 2 hours ago, she's going to be out 2 weeks at the minimum. 2 weeks. Without Caitlin Clark, this team is finished.
One injury, and suddenly everything is up in the air. Fans are in outrage, the players are scrambling, and the league is caught in a whirlwind. How did it all come crashing down so fast? Clark's injury isn't just a sidelined player. It's the heartbeat of the WNBA being temporarily removed from the game. Her stats, her personality, her energy, it was all part of a story that was drawing millions of eyes to the league. And now, that story is on hold. 2 weeks without Clark? That's like losing the centerpiece of your entire show.
If it's the latter, it could mean that Caitlin Clark could potentially miss the rest of the season. This 2-week timetable that people are running with, that's just when Caitlin Clark is going to be reevaluated. As of now, she will be reevaluated on June 9th. That does not mean, and it's highly unlikely, that June 9th or shortly thereafter is when Caitlin Clark is cleared to return.
Clark's quad injury wasn't supposed to be this big of a deal. 2 weeks? That's all. Yet fans were having none of it. The social media blowback was instant. The tweets came flooding in, fans not just frustrated, but declaring full boycotts. "I'm done watching until Clark comes back," was the rallying cry. Every game without her felt like a shadow of what the WNBA had promised.
There's no way. Every team's going to come at them and try to take them out, especially without Caitlin. They're going to lose some games here, and that's going to set them back. It's really hard to believe this, but yeah, she's out. There's no other details. When did this happen? Could have happened in this game. We're not sure. Most likely at a practice yesterday. She's out for 2 weeks, man.
The loudest voices, those were the ones with homemade Clark jerseys covered in glitter glue, angry and chanting for her return. But here's the twist. This wasn't just about the game. This was about the brand. Clark wasn't just a player. She was the WNBA's biggest asset. The WNBA had been running on Clark's momentum, and suddenly, that momentum came to a screeching halt. Fans felt it, and the league felt it too. The silence was deafening.
Breaking WNBA news. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad strain. And our next question is, what does this mean for the Fever? So Cece is going to be missing the second Sky rematch since playing them the first weekend of the season, which is definitely a bummer. But on the bright side, this injury doesn't seem too bad. It's just some quad tightness. But fear not, Fever fans. We talked to Caitlin earlier this month, and she doesn't seem too worried about the depth of this roster.
So I think our depth is probably what I would worry about the most. If somebody doesn't have it one night, you're just going to the next person on the bench and the next person. And, we're going to have to be able to find a way to use that to the best of our ability.
Caitlin seems like she has faith in her team, but we will see how this squad performs on the court without their number one player.
And then there's the Indiana Fever, a team that had been riding high on Clark's shoulders. Suddenly, they're trying to hold it all together without their golden goose. Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and the others are doing their best to step up, but it's hard to make up for the absence of Clark. Mitchell's playing like she's got 3 lungs. Boston's pulling down rebounds like she's trying to fight off ghosts. And Coach Stephanie White? She's rewriting game plans like she's in the Hunger Games, but nothing is quite the same without Clark.
Just as I started talking about Caitlin Clark being in the MVP race, it is announced that she suffered a left quad injury and she is going to miss at least 2 weeks. And this is such a bummer because the Fever were off to a great start this season. Caitlin Clark was playing out of her mind. She had already broken some records in the first 3 games, and now she's going to be sidelined for 2 weeks. We'll see how the team will hold up without her. Obviously, she's the primary ball handler, playmaker, and shot maker. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can sustain and just hold even at 500 or better, and she can get back and keep them in playoff contention.
So to all the fans boycotting the league until their basketball messiah returns,
But here's the kicker. They're still hanging on. Despite the odds, despite the challenges, the Fever are showing resilience. Maybe, just maybe, this team can survive the storm. But as they gear up for the next few games, they'll have to prove they can stay competitive. And those next few games? They're against teams that have been about as threatening as lukewarm soup. Sorry, Chicago Sky, but you're not scaring anyone right now.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up.
and now fans are doing what fans do best, throwing temper tantrums like toddlers.
Before the injury, Caitlin Clark wasn't just putting up impressive numbers. She was single-handedly carrying the league's story. Her games weren't just basketball. They were events, sellouts, record-breaking views, celebrity shoutouts. Clark was the spark that lit up the entire WNBA. The arena buzzed every time she touched the ball. You could feel the energy shift when she entered the court. Without her, that buzz is gone. But here's what most people don't see. Clark was the face of the WNBA's revival. Sure, people like Breanna Stewart and Arike Ogunbowale had their moments, but it was Clark who was bringing in new fans, new eyes. She was the golden ticket. And now, the WNBA is forced to figure out how to maintain interest without her. This is no small task. It's like the league's entire algorithm revolved around her. As much as the WNBA wants to pretend it's all fine, it's not. The league is scrambling to keep the energy alive. Teams are doing their best to pick up the slack, but the truth is, Clark isn't just a player. She's a force. Without her, the WNBA feels like a different league. And while the other players are stepping up, it's clear, the WNBA isn't thriving without Clark. It's surviving. The focus is shifting to other players, but will the fans follow? And the media? They're trying to hype up other stars, but it's not the same. The excitement is muted. The headline-grabbing drama that surrounded Clark is now gone, and it's left a gaping hole. Without Clark's constant presence, there's a feeling of meh around the league. Sure, the games are still being played, but they're not drawing the same attention. And it's scary for the league because everyone knows controversy sells. And right now, that engine is on pause.
Big news just released by the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark has suffered a quad injury, and she's going to be out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Really bad news for people going to games at home, hoping to see Caitlin.
While the WNBA waits for Clark to return, there's one player who's taking advantage of the spotlight, Angel Reese. If Clark was the league's shining star, Reese is proving she can hold down the fort. She's trash-talking, making bold statements, and turning every post-game interview into a media spectacle. And guess what? It's working. The drama is delicious. Every time Reese steps onto the court, the story shifts. The fans love it. The media loves it. And while they wait for Clark's return, Reese is making sure the WNBA doesn't fade into the background. But here's the thing, Reese isn't just playing for the spotlight, she's playing hard, and she's showing she's more than just a personality. The WNBA might have temporarily lost its MVP, but it's gaining a new face, and that face, it's not backing down. Reese is ready to take the throne, and she's not waiting for Clark to hand it over. One of the most surprising things to come out of Clark's absence is the unexpected spotlight on the WNBA's depth. With Clark sidelined, other players are stepping up to show they're ready for the challenge. Breanna Stewart, Kala Copper, and Derricka Hamby, these players are getting the recognition they deserve. Fans are now seeing that the WNBA isn't just about one star, it's about the whole league. And this is the kind of attention the league needs to grow. Without Clark, we're seeing the real strength of the WNBA, a league packed with talent. Sure, Clark was the face, but it's becoming clear that she's only part of the picture, and when she returns, it will be on a whole new level. The WNBA isn't just surviving, it's evolving. The real question is, how will the league balance the spotlight when Clark returns?
Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. I was watching the WNBA. There was nothing on the TV, so I said, why do I just support women? I'm a proud feminist anyways. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. All I saw was straight bricks. But Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. That girl can hoop.
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark storms back onto the court after 2 weeks of rehab. Her quad is healed, her mind is clear, and she's ready to show the world what she's made of. The WNBA isn't just waiting for her return. It's building anticipation. Fans are counting down the days, and when Clark takes that first shot, the entire league will be watching. This won't just be a game. It'll be an event, a statement, a declaration that the WNBA is still the future of women's sports. While some fans are boycotting, others are rallying around the idea that the WNBA should be more than just one player. But as the fans divide, the league faces an interesting crossroads. Some supporters are calling for the league to step up and show that it doesn't rely solely on Clark. They argue that the WNBA needs to prove that it has a deep bench, with players who can carry the load when the star is absent. And it's true, the league has incredible talent. Players like Aaliyah Boston, Breanna Stewart, and Angel Reese are just waiting to be seen as the faces of the WNBA. But here's the thing, these players aren't household names like Clark yet. And it's going to take more than one injury for fans to truly get to know them. The WNBA now has to make a choice. Do they lean into this moment as an opportunity for growth, or do they continue to ride the Clark wave? Are they willing to let the fan base grow beyond one MVP, or will they be stuck in Clark's shadow for good? The coming weeks will reveal whether the league can rebrand itself as a collective, or whether it'll keep holding on to its MVP's coattails for dear life.
We're seeing in real time the Angel Reese psychological meltdown as she's actually being forced to grasp the fact that the thing that she is best at in her life, which is basketball, Caitlin Clark is exponentially better at than she is.
But that's the challenge. The league can't afford to rely on just one star anymore, because if fans are dividing over Clark's injury, the WNBA must find a way to keep them invested, even when their hero is off the court. Is this injury, as unfortunate as it is, the catalyst for a new era in women's basketball? If we think back to other leagues, NFL, NBA, even the NWSL stars have been forced to take time off due to injuries, but it's never been the end of the league. In fact, injuries have often opened the door for new narratives to unfold, for new stars to emerge. For the WNBA, this injury could be the spark for something bigger. It's forcing everyone to take a closer look at players who've been overlooked. Fans are starting to appreciate the depth in the league. Players who may not have been getting the attention they deserved now have the chance to shine. And the fact that Clark's absence is being felt so deeply speaks volumes about how far the league has come. When your star player is out for 2 weeks and the entire league feels like it's on the edge of collapse, you know you've created something big. This moment is about more than just Clark's return. It's about the future of the WNBA. Can it evolve into a league that's not reliant on one player, but a cohesive and dynamic group? Time will tell. But make no mistake, this injury, while a setback, could turn out to be the WNBA's greatest opportunity for growth. It's forcing a reckoning that could make the league stronger, more diverse, and more sustainable in the long run. Caitlin Clark's absence might have shaken the WNBA, but it's also forced the league to evolve. It's forced fans to recognize the depth of talent beyond the headlines, and when Clark returns, the league will be better for it. She's not just the WNBA's star, she's its future. But the real losers here? They're the fans who turned their backs when she was injured, because in the end, they missed the evolution of the league. They missed the chance to see it grow beyond just one player. And that's an opportunity you can't just rewatch on ESPN+. The WNBA survived without Caitlin Clark, but when she comes back, it won't just be basketball. It'll be the return of the queen, and it's going to be one hell of a show.